We all want to be helpful, I think, to people in need, but there are a lot of different things that can look like. So today we're going to talk about 3 different approaches that we can take when we try to change the world for good. For example, unfortunately, there are a lot of hungry people in the world. So one way that we could address this problem would be to give someone food. This would be an act of chesed, an act of loving kindness. It is voluntary and it's individual. That means we choose to give something over to someone else out of a feeling of personal motivation or personal connection. Other acts of chesed might involve bringing a lasagna to a friend who's just had a baby and is feeling overwhelmed, or visiting someone who's sick. It's not necessarily only for someone who has a need that is greater than your own, but it's an act of loving kindness and caring for someone else. Another way that we could help hungry people would be to donate money. Donating money in the Jewish tradition is called Tzedakah, and it's obligatory. We are obligated to offer some of our financial resources to those who are in need. And it really only counts if you're giving money to people who really, really need your help.
And furthermore, the great Jewish sage Maimonides said that the highest form of tzedakah is helping a person become self-sufficient.
To take one example, to donate money to a food bank so that they could offer food to those who are in need. This money could go potentially to buy groceries, but it could also go to pay the food bank's electricity bill or rent. There's a third option though. We also could ask, why are there hungry people in the world? And what needs to change in order to make that not be the case? Do we need to reallocate money in our state or federal budget so that people who are close to poverty don't go over the edge? Do we need to pass new regulations to make housing more affordable? Do we need to raise the minimum wage so that people who are working full-time are able to actually take care of all of their needs? In what ways do racism or sexism or homophobia contribute to people falling into poverty or staying in poverty? The path of Tzedek, of justice, is that of trying to create a better world by changing the systems and structures that cause inequality. To understand these systems better, take a look at this picture. In the first one, everybody has the same supports, but that doesn't mean that they can all see the ball game, because the system for keeping people out impacts different people in different ways. In the second picture, you see that everybody has the supports that they need in order to access the thing that they're trying to get. So that, at very minimum, is the Tzedek perspective, is trying to change the systems so that everybody has a chance to get in. But it can go even further. Have a look at this third picture. Here, instead of making the system more accessible to everybody, they're dismantling the system entirely. The real work of Tzedek is about changing systems that keep people out so that we don't even need to worry about having supports to bolster people a little bit here and a little bit there. What would this look like with regards to poverty and hunger in America? Those are the questions that Tzedek asks and seeks to answer. We need people to help make sure that the needs of today are being addressed. Chesed and Tzedakah are important pieces of that project. But if we don't ask why those needs are there in the first place, injustice will continue to be perpetuated. Pursuing Tzedek is an essential part of our work for a more just world.